Hello everyone, welcome back yet once again to Mania 4K World Cup 2024. Here, we got a winner's bracket matchup along with, we already seen previously with Philippines versus Chile. Just saw a little bit of a 2-hour break before that. I'm Mifa and I'm commentating again with Sunapple. How you doing?
Hello. I'm doing so well. We go from one winner's match to another, and with so few winner's matches right now, it's really exciting to be able to see just high skill players playing right now. Such as this Malaysia team, the US and Malaysia. We did see US win last year the World Cup, and coming back, they are still looking very strong. And Malaysia, on the other hand, not looking as good as previous years, though definitely still doing super well in just every single stage. And I honestly am I'm really wondering how well they'll do in these later stages as we get further and further into this tournament.
I mean, as far as mid-game pools, these players should have no trouble just blasting through the entire thing, especially when you can tell with the seedings, especially United States still came out on the top of the table, and then Malaysia is pretty much on the lower-ish tier in terms of seedings. But number 9 is still a contested one, given their performances on the qualifiers. It is kind of matching up with the I guess the difficulty of this pool, because quarterfinals has been kind of the trend in terms of qualifier difficulty.
Yeah, I definitely think so, and especially I feel like this Malaysia seeding isn't too indicative, since I feel like especially in like that area it is very close. It's very tight knit in terms of how close these seeds really are. It's not too big, so I guess Malaysia kind of got the unlucky draw with playing right now, but they did win last week, so maybe they can do it again. But now we are going on to roles and protects, and I guess Malaysia probably won their roles, so they're protecting first, and I wonder what they're going to protect, and it's going to be a Hybrid 3.
Yeah, Hybrid 3 is protected by Malaysia. United States actually won the role, so they're protecting, I believe, is various artists, the Jumpstream pick, which understandably so. There's no money business in that pick. United States will be able to utilize their godlike consistency most of the time, but Malaysia banning Break Me, which is the SB1 pick, has been kind of the trend this entire, round.
Yeah, I guess people don't really want to play that kind of SV map, and honestly, it kind of makes sense. It happens very often. I also do want to say it is kind of interesting seeing the Hybrid 3 protect, since I feel like that's actually been something that has happened quite a few times. I think I've seen like once or twice in these past few maps, and Raputa also being banned by US is very interesting. Not really wanting to go into that hybrid section, maybe just not feeling comfortable on it. It is kind of simple, so having a break really means a lot. Though I'm not sure whether that's really going to be too often happening for the US. But it's time for Malaysia for the US to pick now, and I would say probably going to go into the LN pool in my opinion. I feel like US's LN team is actually insane.
Oh yeah, absolutely. United States performance on LNs have been very wild actually, and they're actually going for protect just straight out of the gate.
Yeah, also another really good pick, as you were saying. US's consistency is probably like the #1 out of all these teams. I think they have like probably the least miscount, or the lowest miscount out of any team at this point, just because the 3 starters on them are just so good at staying consistent at basically end of BPM. Like even if you go higher and higher, they'll still have like the exact same scores basically.
Well, not only the miscount is the lowest, if they don't get a double-digit perfect, it's basically like a sin for them.
That is definitely also true. And I believe this is going to be the lineup definitely for the US. Helasun, Reshiram, and Neptune. Malaysia may be having it. I'm not sure actually who plays their Rice for Malaysia at this point. There have been so many people that have come and go.
Yeah, most likely newer generation of players that they have been showing us the entire tournament. Malaysia has a couple of newer players. I guess, like just a good majority of the teams have been delighted us with some I guess most of them are new players. So interesting to bring up the fresh tournament experience.
Yeah, and definitely I think having to face the number one seed can be a big thing for, I guess, newer players, just because it can be a bit daunting, especially at first. You kind of feel like it may be over, but I definitely think that thinking in that way is probably not the best way of taking this. There's US definitely still has their flaws. They aren't too great on, like, I guess, hybridish stuff. So they're really good at the simple stuff, but as soon as you get something a bit more technical, they kind of fall off a bit. And that is something that player or teams will definitely have to be exploiting.
Looking at it, is that Frigid Sucks is coming for the Malaysian side victory, the third player for, I guess, mostly Rice. He used to be, I believe, the three-man player has been like Leon, Icefy, and Jail. I guess more swaps, I guess, would have been very convenient. But we're getting straight into it.
Yeah, and here we go into our first pick of this match, the US versus Malaysia quarterfinals. We will be seeing, this is a winner's match, so no elimination yet, but who will be going into this loser bracket by the end of the round and having to play that through that grueling loser bracket all the way from semis.
It's just really what it is. For a longer pick, well, 3 minutes, 250 is not a hot VPN that you see very often for the finals, but I guess that's what the level we're at now, right now.
Yeah, and you say 250 is very fast, although I feel like all this USA team has been honestly dominating in this little section. Everybody above the 99.95. Malaysia's struggling a bit more, though. Even then, honestly, these scores can definitely beat quite a few teams. There's only a 2K lead, so it is quite small. A miss or two from any of the US side can definitely give that lead over, and we have just started the map, so there's so much left for us to see.
Yeah, well, it certainly starts to pick back up, and I guess the jump string play itself isn't changing all too much. Maybe just a few one-hand kills here and there. It's not too complicated for these players to be able to pull off.
Yeah, but we have been seeing, actually, I was saying how it was at 2,000, now it is at 4,000, and that is purely based off of accuracy. US really hasn't lowered their accuracy too much. It's really been Malaysia kind of struggling a bit more as this map goes on. A few 200s coming out from everybody on that team, whereas US has really been looking super consistent. I do think there is a possibility for a miss. I know they are pretty miss-prone, honestly. If you are trying to get super high accuracy, that definitely just is inherently happening. But really, we're just looking out for those misses on this US team. They are getting up to this 8,000 range, and I think once they get around there, they can have the opportunity of taking a miss and still having this lead. But actually, Malaysia is going to be the one.
Yeah, it's kind of getting lost there. There's actually quite a lot of drops from Frigid Sucks there, 99.2%. That's already like a 3 to 4 consecutive draws, and really just goes way forward to the United States.
Yeah, and honestly, that's super devastating. Another miss from J-Light coming out, and I think that could seal it. We still have a fourth left, but 30k lead is super difficult to be able to manage. And as we enter this break, US will be just kind of calming themselves down. Icefy also taking a break, so no FCs on this Malaysia roster.
Still averaging 99.94 for the United States at this point is kind of a... That's a bad team score, to be honest with you.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like having just one player above this 99.9 is super impressive, and like not many people can do that. But now on this US team, you have a grand total of 3. All 3 of your players are above it, and one is at 99.95. That's like a, I don't even know what score this could be. It's like a 999.
It's around 998, and actually Nevigen's actually increasing, actually 99.96, just a bit there, but even then, that's not, doesn't really change often. That's a team score and a half for the United States. Oh my god.
Yeah,
Just look at that, just look at that.
That's insane. How how do you even like come close to this? I feel like, I wonder how good how good of a team you have to like get to be able to get close to this team score in general.
Yeah, 436 300s in total, and that's still lower than like the lowest players on the ratio on Malaysia side. That's a rough thing to deal.
Yeah, it is interesting to see now. It is the first pick for US, so luckily that was US's protect. Malaysia doesn't have to worry about that all that much. It is time for their pick. Hybrid 3 is going to be out. Malaysia already going for their protect as well, just trading them out real quick.
Yeah, rounding them out with more complex hybrids. This is the most complex of a hybrids of anything, so protecting them is a bold move, but it also can backfire because of how complex it is.
Yeah, I definitely agree. As I said earlier, US definitely struggles a bit more on these kind of more complex picks. And when I mean struggles, I mean they get a few more 200s in average. But we will definitely have to see. I do think Malaysia definitely has a chance if US does take a few misses, which is definitely possible. And just how hard this map is, I feel like getting FCs in general, even at the top players, is still a struggle. So Malaysia, if they are able to honestly just have like a super big pop-off and are able to three-way FC, it is going to help them a lot. And definitely, even taking a point will boost their momentum so much more than I think they even imagine.
Now we're seeing Leon coming up on the Malaysian side. Should be no trouble of getting up there. I guess the overall average performance. Leon has been playing for most of the hybrid and LN in particular.
Yeah, and I think they've been playing the LNs and hybrids for the past few years, honestly. Ever since I've been playing, definitely they've been playing LNs and hybrids, and they're still coming back and getting these really impressive scores.
Song's great to boot, especially for these kinds of for a hybrid pick like this. The only gripe that I have about this song is that the cut was kind of abrupt in the actual song itself, but no big deal.
Yeah, that definitely does happen. It can't be perfect in terms of song choice or like in terms of song cutting. Is we don't really want to have like a 50-minute song into a map. I think that actually, how long is this song normally?
It's just under 4.
Yeah, I feel like having a 4-minute hybrid map can be a lot, and definitely, I think if this map was 4 minutes, a lot less people would be opting to play it.
Alright, here we go. Here comes the first set of the, I guess more of the first. Jayla taking the first miss actually, but it was that clean because of 99%.
Yeah, super clean miss is really what you're going to be wanting to see if you even get a miss at all. US still having pretty good accuracy, although honestly, Istify and Leon definitely catching up with a lot of the US players besides really Neptune, who is a standout. We do see another miss from Hellosun, so this is definitely going to be very, very close.
Oh, Leon is actually taking 2 consecutive misses right there over the LNs.
Yeah, and that isn't too great to see, although I do believe if Hellosun takes another break, it can definitely just come back in terms of their lead. This lead is only 10k. I think a dirty miss, or at least 2 from the US side, can definitely swing it over, but Leon taking another one is not what you're really wanting to see if you are Malaysia.
Another miss coming out from Leon. This seems to be kind of a tough. Oh yeah, it's a tricky situation because of 22,000 point lead and overall average accuracy for the United States is about like 99.8, and Neptune is like a 99.92 at this point.
Yeah, and especially this being Malaysia's protect is really not too great. This US team, even with their misses, honestly having better accuracy than every single one of the Malaysian players.
I guess this last, the outro section has some, I guess, difficult-ish. Well, more so struggles for Leon actually.
Yeah, there is definitely some difficulty in terms of like the LN kind of stream patterns. Istify also being one to break, but everybody on the US standing very, very strong here. Basically a two-way full combo right now. Neptune with this 99.9. I don't think anybody's going to get close to this score at all, honestly.
the thing is that is more fascinating to me is that the Ellens are executed flawlessly. There's no like normal 300s. It's all just rainbows, and Nepogen clearly shows that finesse to be able to handle this kind of thing. Like, look at that V1 double S on Dragonlance.
Yeah, that's absurd, honestly. I every single time I see this map, I just can imagine and I know just how difficult it is to be able to get even like less than 2200s. And just being able to see a V1 double S on this map is just absurd. And also Peach Marrow and Hellison having less than like 5 bad judgments is crazy.
Yeah, this is really good for the United States. And the United States having the best time of their lives are picking Rise picks. Raw Understanding coming up for their next pick. Tech pick.
Yeah, definitely something that they definitely can opt for. Maybe just wanting to play those more technical maps, not really wanting to play something too simple, just in case they do take a break, I guess. Very technical. A lot of, I guess, awkward kind of quick mini jacks in this map. Not really mini jacks since they're kind of like doubles.
Yeah, Raw Understanding is an interesting one. We haven't seen quite a lot of it in, I guess, in the past few matches. Although we've seen in like Brazil's Mexico just before. Probably the second time being shown. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but this is kind of a weird spot. The pick itself is not that terribly difficult. It's just maybe some teams are kind of afraid of picking this, but not for the United States, I suppose.
Yeah, I think the main reason why teams are kind of afraid of picking this is mainly just because of how difficult it is to be able to FC consistently. There's a lot of places to be able to, I guess, just take a random break just because you kind of play the pattern a bit weird or you kind of like finger lock on something. So as a result, a lot of people kind of shy away from these kind of more technical picks, but definitely the US not like that at all. Definitely just wanting to show off how good they are on basically everything that they can play.
Yeah, we'll see how this goes. Beta Carotene is actually for the swap here instead of I guess Peach Marrow and a couple other players. But Hellas and Nepogen has been staying in for most of the picks, so it should be no surprise at all.
Yeah, Nepogen and Hellison both being really the all-star players on the US team. They both play basically everything that is possible besides maybe like SV. Though that is really just a toss-up on this US squad. And we do see a first miss from Beta Carotenes right here.
All of it is the pick is just basically all burst and I guess more sporadic mini jack being thrown. But that's kind of the case in this pick, essentially, where tech picks are mostly just more of a brutally hard transitions in and out of it.
Yeah, and as a result, I mean, misses can come, and we'd already see when Malaysia having this lead for now. We are a fourth way through the map, and this map is decently long, so there is a chance for the US to come back, and Projan Suck is being the first one to break on this Malaysia team.
Yeah, all across the board has been really consistent, although except for maybe a second miss coming from Projan Sucks there, but I feel like 99.9s and 99.7s is not gonna cut it, especially for this kind of score difference.
Yeah, and as we're seeing just more misses for Projan Sucks, it is definitely not something that you're going to be wanting to see. This lead is just increasing quite quickly for the US squad. 17,000 points difference right now, and it is really just growing since the US team hasn't been really dropped in accuracy. They've actually only been improving since Carrots took that early drop.
So far, looking so good for the United States here, already building up just under 20,000 points of difference. Even though the other two players from Malaysia are still pretty much holding on, but their accuracies are kind of still a little bit behind the other two players from the United States. There's already a third miss right there already.
Yeah, and these minor misses is definitely what's really increasing this lead alongside the accuracy from US just being so good. The Malaysian team, Istify having really good accuracy is just really not enough comparing to Nepogen and Hellosun.
And that's all it does actually for this pick though. Because there's I guess the difference is kind of still growing, and that's pretty much sealed their fate in terms of for this pick. So it's gonna be 3-0 for the United States here.
Yeah, and going back onto Malaysia's map, so that was a US pick, though the Malaysia squad has to find a breakpoint at least somewhere if they want to still have the opportunity of winning this map or match. And right now, probably going to see a quick pick. I would say going more for the LN sides. You did see Dragonlands being at least decently close in the start, so maybe if you go for something more simpler, it can definitely help out. Maybe Classicer Einheit, or I guess like Packet Hero, maybe something that isn't too much in terms of like really raw difficulty.
I guess in terms of prospect for this match in particular, I don't think we probably ever see SV pick from any of these teams. Maybe United States want to go for it, but I just don't think they would take the risk.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I feel like if somebody's going to go for it, it definitely probably be Malaysia, though they did opt to ban SV1. So I'm not too sure. Maybe they were like banning SV1 because they wanted to really practice SV2, which is definitely possible, though I'm not too confident in believing in that.
Still waiting for their pick to carry for Malaysia. Maybe, I don't know, maybe just go for Ellens or I guess just delving more into hybrid, but that feels kind of unlikely to pick carry away because of how physical that is. But they're going for Classicer Einheit or the Ellen density pick.
Yeah, as I was saying, this is definitely probably going to be the pick for Malaysia. It's more simpler, nothing really too much to like kind of mess you up on, nothing to really trip you up, and it is also very short, so if US takes any breaks, it can definitely help them out. We do see J-Light coming in for Malaysia, as well as Leon right here.
Yeah, we see I believe probably Younghong coming for, I guess, for these LN picks for Malaysia. And Peach Marrow coming back in for the United States should be no surprising.
Yeah, Peach Marrow definitely, for these, I guess, more early game kind of LNs, we will be seeing compared to Reshiram, which we'll most likely be seeing later on as the LN maps get more and more difficult, especially on a kind of density kind of map. But for now, Peach Marrow has to step up, and definitely we will see them get quite good accuracy on this map, honestly.
Doesn't seem that the United States look like they want to play don't want to play Packet Hero.
Maybe they do. I believe they can definitely pick it. They have the opportunity to pick after this, and if they are really wanting to play that badly, LN1 is still open. There's no ban or anything on it. I believe we'll be able to hear it. Everybody does love Packet Hero. I feel like that is probably one of the best songs in this pool in general.
I will abstain from commenting on that.
What? You don't like Packet Hero?
I've heard better songs from, I guess, from the artists.
I guess that makes sense. I respect that. I like just like basically whatever I hear.
That's kind of the yes man kind of.
Yep, you know me. If it's the first thing I hear, then it'll be fine for me. It'll be enough. It'll give me some memories. But with that being said, here is the first section of Classicer Einheit. US having this slight lead 2K. We saw this in the last map, and it doesn't really mean all that much, since this later half is definitely where we will be seeing a lot more issues for these players.
Well, the density is pretty much consistent. It's just, I guess 206 BPM LN jump stream is kind of a walk in the park. Just releasing them is kind of a pain.
It is definitely a pain, though. I do think it is very important for these players to kind of stay consistent throughout the entire map, which is definitely the hardest part of LN maps. And we are seeing this lead honestly growing for the US squad. Malaysia definitely finding a few more 200s and a few more just regular 300s compared to the US. All of their players being above this 99.7 and Nepogen at this 99.9 at this point, as we get just 2/3 into the map, 1/3 left, and will we see anything coming out?
Yeah, no breaks so far. That I'm truly fascinated to see that a 6-way FC can be a possibility. But even then, the density doesn't really change all too much, so hopefully players should be able to pick up by that. Oh, actually the lead has been cut down actually to 3,000 because of Peach Marrow having more 200 on their side.
Yeah, that is definitely interesting to see, so maybe there's a chance. I believe Go Malaysia, stay consistent. If anybody misses, it can definitely switch the lead over, but it's looking like everybody's gonna FC. We'll be seeing the first FC right now.
6-way FC on Classic Reinhardt. That's not something you'll see very often. But that's even the score difference, like a 4,000. That's really tough. But again, vv2245620314 and Nepogen. How does he do it?
vv2245620314 1-20 ratio as well, which is just absolutely insane. Just having a 99.92 on this map, even with the 6-way FCs, Malaysia just wasn't able to take it. Peach Marrow kind of struggling a bit on that later half, but really it wasn't even enough considering that he had such good backup.
That's such a good team score for Malaysia too. That's really unfortunate to see that kind of score difference is pretty much kind of weighing them down. But
yeah,
if you compare with two individual performances, I just don't. I just feel that's kind of, yeah. You have to contend with these players. That's essentially.
Yeah, that is definitely true. I feel like this Malaysia's like lineup, that map alone could definitely beat out a lot of the top teams. And honestly, like a lot of the top teams in like the top 8 probably aren't even able to get like a score as good as that on Classic Reinhardt. But when you're facing the US, you have to be like above and beyond. You just have to be so good that even if one of their players kind of doesn't do as well, you're still kind of getting defeated by quite a bit of score.
They have a lot of good options for the United States, but like we said previously before the Classic Reinhardt plays, yeah, you know, there's some talks about Packet Hero, and I just Packet Hero is a different pick. Although, I don't think the United States will go for that. They're going for Himawari and Sakamichi.
I definitely do think this is pretty good, considering that they opted to protect hybrid, or not hybrid, Rice 1. I think kind of going for more of these simpler picks is definitely going to help the US squad by quite a lot right now. And I guess they don't really need the help, but definitely I want you to go into something for their match point. This is probably going to be the one. A pretty short map, so misses will mean a lot, but US's consistency has been helping out so much that honestly, will it even matter?
Oh, it doesn't really matter. It's you know, you have the luxury to do such picks like that. If they want to go physical, then if they're able to do it, then they do.
Yeah, and as we get in, I wonder who the last player on this USA team is going to be. Either Carrots, Reshiram, or like anybody else could be here.
Any one of those people works. Just with better individual average performances that might actually be able to contribute to the United States team score. But this time it's Tristan.
That is interesting to see. I can definitely see why they wanted to do it. Kind of Tristan Jacobs being able to have that consistency on this map. Maybe just wanting to lock everything in, make sure that they are able to have a 3-way FC.
Yeah, it should be getting in soon. This time, Yonhong mean, back in for the Malaysian side, Trojan Sucks also has been staying in for most of the Rice picks in particular. Ice Supply has been playing like all of the picks that have been shown now.
Yeah, they've been playing every single one of the picks, and they've definitely been doing super, super well. They've been keeping up with the USA team, or like some of their players, in terms of score, though. It's kind of difficult whenever you're kind of facing off against all three of them, and all three of them are getting scores similar to you.
Of all the picks, I would really expect that this one has the most potential to slip up every now and again. And it's easy to get lost too because of 340 BPM stream that is hinging awards like mini anchors in there.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Those anchors specifically can definitely cause a lot of problems, especially if you kind of overthink it. Maybe you're just focusing too much on trying to act those anchors, and as a result, you kind of mess up on the streams themselves. And I think it is possible, but as we get into about halfway through, as I said, this map is very, very short. 4K lead for the US, very minor, but Elite itself can definitely increase by so much by because of any reason, and we may see it as we get into this next really big stream section.
On average, like 99.7, and the only anomaly is the bottom row for United States. Just it's really tough to deal. It's basically have to be a miss, but doesn't look like it's actually on the wrong side for Malaysia's side. Ice Defy with the first miss there.
Yeah, and that is not what you want to see. As I said earlier, these leads increased by a lot, and it was at 2K, now it's at 20K. It is increased by 10x, and at this last quarter, US is just looking so strong. As you were saying, this bottom half for the US, both of them at 99.9. Trish and Jacob falling a bit behind, but even then, they're still having a higher score than any of the Malaysian players right now.
I mean, in fact, they just don't really care, do they? Hellosa and Nevision is actually just keeps increasing in accuracy, even after all of those streams.
Yeah, it's honestly crazy how Nepotion and Hellosun's act both just kind of increase every so often, even at such high of a accuracy.
Oh god, that's an average score of 996 on United States there. Even double digits for Hellosun Nevision. That's wild.
These are normal scores. These are scores that we see every single day. It is kind of funny because Nepogen and Hellosun's score, like their 300 count, is equal to every single one of the players in this lobby.
It does. It's just, how do you even beat double digit perfects like this in a normal tournament, like individual scenario? That's just almost not happening, is it?
Honestly, not really, unless you're like maybe number 2 seed. It's even then it's super close just because of how great that accuracy is. This US team is so good at having really good accuracy in these early games, and honestly, they still have it in these later games.
Yeah, but this time it's Packet Hero from Malaysia, hoping to catch a point. But maybe we see 2 swaps. I guess as per usual, maybe Arrow, and I don't think we'll probably see Hellosun. Or actually, yeah, Hellosun is actually coming back in.
Yeah, I guess that does make sense considering this is an LN map. Hellosun, in my opinion, best well known for their LN accuracy, and we have been seeing it just throughout the map. It has been slightly overshadowed by Nepogen's LN accuracy, but I mean, even then, both of them are just top tier in terms of what they play.
Yeah, at this point, accuracy drop is just a minor dent, and that's not really happening for the United States to be able to swing the lead over. It has to be a miss to make sure that they have a slight difference.
Yeah, it's kind of funny when we talk about accuracy drops because I feel like for Hellosun and Nepogen, it's really just having a slight bit more 300s than normal compared to, I feel like every other player is taking like a few 200s, a few misses. It's just they're in a different league, honestly, and we are here. U.S. on match point. This is a winners bracket match, so if Malaysia doesn't win this point, they are still in the tournament. They will just be going into the losers bracket.
Yeah, it looks like a tough hill to climb there for Malaysia, but they would really have to step up their game here.
I believe in Malaysia. I believe in taking a point so that this isn't a sweep.
So far, just almost evenly. Well, no, I was gonna say evenly matched, but Yeonhwa takes the first miss there already.
That is definitely not what we're wanting to see. If we are hoping for Malaysia to not take or not be swept right in this match, an early miss is just so terrible, and it's definitely not what Yeon Hong really wants. Probably a lot of nerves coming into this map though.
Second miss coming from J-Line here. Already like a 3 FC to 1.
Yep, and here we go into this actual, a bit more technical section, honestly. A lot more staggered releases in these maps.
Yeah, we're already like just the first half of it through, and it's already quite the lead they got there for the United States.
Halfway through, US having a massive lead, and two players, Neptune and Helsen, 99.8. That is just absolutely insane to be able to stay consistent. And here we go. It's sounding like this is going to be the really difficult part, and it is definitely true right here. Every single LN release definitely a struggle to be able to stay consistent on. Many 200s just coming out from a lot of these players.
Yeah, it's already the lead is pretty much growing. The United States approaching 30,000 point difference, and it does really look like it's very difficult to even catch up to that kind of scores or kind of accuracy. And it's looking like the United States are able to grab their brooms for clean sweep here against Malaysia.
Yeah, and as we get in, 30k difference is not going to be possible to be taking up. Three-way FC for US, Malaysia only having one. That is on ERA Leon. And USA going to be moving on to the next round into semifinals in the winners bracket. Definitely what you are wanting to see as this US team. Though Malaysia isn't out yet, they will still have to go into this losers bracket, and they will have the opportunity to come back in this later stages now.
Yeah, but as you might have figured, because it's a winners bracket, for Malaysia especially, when they're going for the semifinals lower bracket, be mindful because semifinals pool is a semifinals pool difficulty, so they have to make sure they put a lot of effort into practicing that one, especially with the lower bracket. That opponents are not gonna be easy.
Yeah, they definitely won't. But is there really anything else? I'm not too sure. USA, congratulations once again. I guess we can go onto the schedule and see who's playing next, because there are still a few more matches.
Yeah, there's a 21 minutes actually. When it's coming up, it's gonna be Taiwan versus New Zealand. Another one of the lower bracket matches that will decide on which team was actually gonna be knocking out of the tournament from that point. Especially for Taiwan, New Zealand, also a decently close matchup in terms of score differentials, especially.
Yeah, definitely going to be an interesting one to watch, and also Korea versus Vietnam of 84 hours is going to be, I think, one of our other winners bracket matches that is going to be, in my opinion, probably one of the more important matches of this tournament. Definitely going to be one of the more interesting ones. Could go to tiebreaker, but we will have to see that in 4 hours. But with that being said, I have nothing else. Actually, I kind of do have something else. There's this thing that anybody watching could buy. Do you know what they're called, Mitha?
I believe once we get to it, we actually get banners for for Usme 4K World Cup has been as per traditions. You can purchase them and grab them from the O store, and apparently you can stack banners now. So you got like 32 team banners that you want to purchase, and you can maybe just buy all of it to maybe annoy your friend to scroll down to see their stats.
It's so great to see it every single time, in my opinion. It's really, really funny whenever I just like scroll down endlessly on somebody's profile. So be sure to buy all 32. I believe in you. A lot of whenever people buy banners, it just like directly contributes to the players. So definitely just understand that your money is going to a good cause right now.
Yeah, these contributions have been made solely because of your support as well. For all of you that are also spectating and also playing as well. Hopefully that all those proceeds will actually be able to help that these efforts have not gone to waste.
Yeah, but with that being said, I don't have anything else unless you do. Bye.
Yeah, take care everyone.